This full garden is for the winter's tale.
What plants did you use in the winter's tale?
Ivy, flax, cork, and pines, nettles, thorns, and briars, rue, violets, daffodils, lilies, fleur-de-lis, crown imperial, primroses, oxlips, and carnations. These are also called gillivores. Marigold, mints, and marjoram, lavender, savory, rosemary, saffron, ginger, and nutmeg. Dates, raisins, prunes, and currants. Garlic, rice, and squash, which you would call young peas.
What a profusion of fruits and flowers for a winter's tale.
There is much sadness in this tale also, and a sad tale's best for winter. But spring follows winter, and so the story's tragic beginning will come around to redemption, restoration, and even resurrection.
What plants represent the tragic beginning?
King Polixenes of Bohemia spends several months visiting a friend of his from his childhood, King Leontes of Sicily. Leontes becomes possessed of the belief that the child his innocent wife Hermione is carrying is not his, but Polixenes. He orders Polixenes killed, but Leontes' counselor Camillo warns Polixenes and escapes from Sicily with him. Leontes descends to the lowest depths of insane jealousy and perverse judgment, saying, "Dost think I am so muddied, so unsettled, to appoint myself to this vexation, sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps." Then he insults his blameless queen. "My wife's a hobby horse, deserves a name as rank as any flax wench that puts two before her troth plight." And he puts her in prison.
Well, there the queen gives birth to a girl, and Leontes orders the baby killed too. The queen collapses in horror. Both Leontes and their young son think she is dead. The little prince dies of grief, and Leontes is left in a winter of remorse and despair. But this play doesn't end in the winter, does it?
No. The baby is carried off to Bohemia, where a shepherd finds her and names her Perdita. He raises her without knowing who she is. Leontes spends 16 years alone. But on stage, in the play, the scene shifts immediately. This season is warm, not wintry. Perdita is to be crowned Queen Flora at a sheep-shearing festival. Polixenes' son Florizel the Prince of Bohemia has met Perdita and fallen in love with her.
Polixenes and Camillo disguise themselves and come to the festival, determined to put a stop to Florizel's love.
Perdita is wise in the ways of herbs and flowers. She first offers her guests rosemary, the emblem of remembrance, and rue, also called herb of grace. For you there's rosemary and rue. These keep seeming and savor all winter long. Grace and remembrance be to you both, and welcome to our shearing.
She gives them herbs that persist through the winter. That gift contains the seeds of hope, remembrance of what was lost, and grace to be forgiven and begin again. But Polixenes and Camillo take the wintry aspect of those plants in a different sense.
Indeed they do. Shepherdess, a fair one are you. Well you fit our ages with flowers of winter. She courteously contradicts the claim. They are of a wintry age. She turns the story away from the long winter of despair and draws it into the bounteous season of the shearing festival, full of prosperous cheer and new life. Here's flowers for you, hot lavender, mints, savory, marjoram, the marigold that goes to bed with the sun, and with him rises weeping. These are flowers of the middle summer, and I think they are given to men of middle age. You're very welcome.
She also recalls the hopeful beauty of the spring just past. She would bestow blossoms of spring on the country maids who flock to the festival, and above all on Florizel, for they were in bloom when she met him, and they fell in love. Now, my fairest friend, I would I had some flowers of the spring that might become your time of day, and yours, that wear upon your virgin branches yet your maidenheads growing. O Proserpina, for the flowers now that frighted thou lett'st fall from Dis's wagon, daffodils that come before the swallow dares and take the winds of March with beauty, violets dim but sweeter than the lids of Juno's eyes or Cytherea's breath, pale primroses that die unmarried ere they can behold bright Phoebus in his strength, a malady most incident to maids, bold oxlips and the crown imperial, lilies of all kinds, the flower de luce being one. Oh, these I lack to make you garlands of.
She gives the plants of winter, spring, and summer, each to those whom they befit the most.
Why does she censure flowers of autumn?
She speaks of carnations and gillivores, which display themselves as summer turns to autumn. They could befit the older Polixenes and Camillo, but Perdita has none to give them.
She says, "Sir, the year growing ancient, not yet on summer's death, nor on the birth of trembling winter, the fairest flowers of the season are our carnations and streaked gillivores, which some call nature's bastards. Of that kind our rustic gardens barren, and I care not to get slips of them."
Gardeners know the ways of the carnations and their kin, crossing and crossing again with one another, bearing all the streaks and spots and blended colors that come with such fertility. Perdita will have none of their unrestrained and fickle intermingling. Polixenes answers, "You see, sweet maid, we marry a gentler scion of this wildest stock, and may conceive a bark of baser kind, a bud of nobler race, and make our garden rich in gillivores, and do not call them bastards." But Perdita still refuses to allow such wantonness. "I'll not put the dibble to earth to set one slip of them."
What excellent use this play makes of plants, with only a few common garden flowers. It speaks of the perceived promiscuity, uncertain parentage, and unnatural faithlessness that have led to Perdita's apparent low station.
And also the seeds of hope, that these feelings may turn to the turning of the seasons of life, giving rise to someone more lovely, more vigorous, more able to persevere. Leontes discovers that Hermione lives. They recover their daughter, and the broken friendship of Leontes. Polixenes finds new life in the loving marriage of their children to one another.